we have our videos and titles and videos, and let's add next and previous functions. Let's call get pages, right? Get pages and pass the object, main object, not the mini object that we created with just two items in it, video and title, but the main YouTube API object. So we would be, every time we click on next or previous, we will be loading videos and titles. So which means we will be getting this getVids function again and again. So let's keep it there, down. Let's call this pagination. So let's keep our get pages object. Yeah, so let's keep this getVids function below our get pages function, because we will be using this from here as well. Every time we click on here or on here, we will be calling getVids, right? So we will need it later. So what we're doing here now, let's add two things here. We have two buttons now, right? Next and previous. Let's start with next. So every time we click on next, we need to add some event listener, and on every click, we would need to load some let's call it next page, right? And then function next load next page. So every time we click on the next, we call this load next page function. So, and in this function, what it does, it just simply returns, it just simply redoes the same thing, right? It simply goes back to the creation of new request, and then getting my URL, and etc, etc. But there's one thing here. Before we start creating ajax call to our URL, we would need to add nextPageToken. If we go back to youtubeAPI, we have here a page token thing. As you see here, string the page token parameter identifies a specific page in the results set that should be returned. API response page token and previous page token with property, etc. So we would need these two things. This is already pre-programmed inside the YouTube API. So every time we access these two things, we will be accessing the next page videos and previous page videos. So these variables are already pre-programmed inside the YouTube API. So what we need to do is we just need to access it. Let's create a variable, let's call it token, and then let's access the next page token by simply calling it, right? So let's say this loads next page loading, and then further down we can do previous page loading. So what does this thing do? Let's log it so we can see the. By now let's comment these things out so we only see what we need. When we before we log it, let's log the object itself as well, the main YouTube API object. So when we log these two things, as you see, we logged main YouTube API object and then this thing. What is this thing? This thing is next page token keys value. Every time we click on next page, we get some kind of value in here, which gives us next page token thing. Every time we access this thing, this key, we will be getting new results in here. So for this token, we get 10 results. For the next token, we will get from 11 to 20, from etc, etc, etc. So every time token changes, so we will be keep getting new different videos and results. We have total of here 1 million results, so that's how we access the next page thing. If this makes it clear, let's go further. So what happens here is, if you remember, we had here my URL thing. We simply need to add here one thing, page token equals, and then end. Page token equals token, right? Yeah. Once we add this token is this token. Well, because we get that dynamically, so you can't just put it here as token. You need to add it dynamically. So yeah. So now we have new URL with the next page token, and then we can do the ajax call, right? Simply, so this ajax call gets what happens here is, well, we're getting exactly the same thing, videos and titles, but with the different values and different videos, different titles, right? And let's see if it works. So we are here now. So what we did here is we just accessed the next page token. We logged the object itself, we logged the token itself, and then we added event listener. So on click on here, we get next videos, right? So let's see if it works. Let me see if we did everything correctly. So we've got my URL, and then we've got next page token here, and then load next page. Next is the button itself. So let's see if it works. I saved it, reload this. We get no errors here. So this is our main page when the document is loaded, on document content loaded. And then if you click on here, you see, there you go. We got new object with a different token now. So this gives us, this was our previous token, if you remember, and then this is our new token for the next page. Every time we click on next page, we will get the new videos loaded. There's one thing here. If you see, we still have the previous 10 videos, and then here and then another 10 videos. So we have now 20 videos in here. So let's clear it. Every time we load new videos, we need the page. I mean, not page, the list to be clear, right? I think this is how we clear it. Inner HTML. It should be clear, right? Let's see if this is the correct code. So this was the main page, and then click on next. Yeah, we're getting 10 results. So now we have functioning next page loading button, and on the next video we will be adding very similar thing to our, where is that, this button, previous. Now it's not working. Thank you so much.